Hello friends, this is extremely interesting and must have Russian defense companies pulling their hair out. Because the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine has officially launched Trophy Lab, which is a secure digital platform that grants access to governments, allies, defense manufacturers, research institutions, and specialized laboratories. For verified users, unprecedented access to detailed technical data, analysis, and vulnerabilities of Russian weapon systems captured by the defenders. Minister Mikhailo Fedorov stated that the Ministry of Defense is launching this platform to provide verified users with access to information about Russian weaponry and technologies, which they will be able to study in detail. We are convinced that knowledge about our adversaries' technologies should not remain restricted, but should be used by those who build defense systems. He also emphasized that every missile, drone, and vehicle captured from the invaders on the battlefield is now an open source of knowledge for the free world, transforming the technologies that the Z-Horde intended to use as secret advantages on the battlefield into collective assets that we will use for the defense of democracy. The platform also offers 225 complete technical profiles of the systems, including composition components, specifications, and high-resolution photos and videos, along with engineering blueprints that show vulnerabilities and performance traits. Moreover, authorized users can request physical samples to conduct their own tests on more than 115 weapon systems from 79 categories of Russian military armament, ranging from missiles to tanks. Access to this information is expected to drastically reduce the countermeasure development cycle, allowing partners to test solutions directly against actual enemy equipment, instead of relying solely on theoretical models or limited intelligence. Ironically, the more weaponry the invaders deploy on the battlefield, the richer the data set becomes, creating a positive feedback loop where Ukrainian successes on the battlefield directly drive the advancement of Allied systems. Now, the Armada and the Felon definitely won't approach the Ukrainian battlefield, lest they end up under the microscope. There are new developments in the mid-range attack campaign against the Horde's logistics, as the invaders have installed 2 advanced electronic warfare systems, specifically designed to disrupt the Starlink signal, and thus block the control signal of the Hornet drones. However, the 422nd Unmanned Systems Regiment Luftwaffe, belonging to the 17th Army Corps, was in charge of carrying out 2 precision strikes against the Russian complexes, Volna, Kupol, Garand, on June 14th and 16th, which is a mobile satellite jamming system developed and manufactured by Rossitsky Kupol in Simferopol, Crimea. Each complex, which is estimated to cost approximately $1.5 million, consists of several trailers equipped with parabolic antennas that transmit interference directly toward the Starlink satellites. Each unit can suppress the signal in an area of approximately 20 square kilometers and can interfere with only 1 satellite at a time. The invaders began deploying these systems from the land corridor toward Crimea with the goal of protecting the logistical routes from medium and long-range attack drones, which are seriously interfering with the supply of fuel and other goods in the occupied territories. However, the reconnaissance operators of the Alpha unit of the SBU identified the position of the systems and called for 2 strikes with Bulava loitering munitions, which were carried out by the operators of the 422nd Regiment. It is worth noting that the attacking drones maintained their video transmission without interference throughout the entire sequence, which makes it clear to us how effective the Orcs system was at jamming the Starlink signal. Anyway, orcs being orcs. The invaders are also trying to innovate at their own pace, which is really slow, thank God. In this case, the Russian company Gumich RTK has presented a mobile robotic anti-drone defense complex based on 2 unmanned impulse ground vehicles. The first one is called Impulse LS, equipped with a radar that identifies and simultaneously tracks multiple targets flying at low altitude at distances between 4 and 18 kilometers, information that it transmits to the attack platform. This one is called Impulse Spherovoy, or Beast Hunter, equipped with launch containers that can be loaded with attack drones or specialized aerial interceptors, which neutralize threats through direct impacts. The invaders hope that both vehicles working together can provide a mobile, cost-effective, and scalable response to the swarm of attack drones from the defenders. By eliminating the presence of human operators in the danger zone and using relatively cheap interceptor drones, IBAN will be able to provide continuous anti-air coverage to its forward positions, supply routes, urban areas, and critical infrastructure. We'll have to see how well the Horde's creation turns out, but I have my doubts whether they'll be able to withstand the combined attack of a swarm of drones that, for example, go for the
Entró a la horda. Pero tengo mis dudas si podrán resistir el ataque combinado de un enjambre de mosquitos que vayan, por ejemplo,
vehicle with the radar. On the ground front, the Ukraine's 3rd Army Corps announced on June 14 that its air defense units destroyed a record of 3,762 unmanned aerial vehicles of the invaders during May, the highest monthly figure since the formation of the Corps at the beginning of 2025. This achievement represents an increase of more than 1,000 interceptions, above the previous record, and is due to the effectiveness of the multi-layered, tiered air defense system, which protects Ukrainian positions along the Borovsk and Lima fronts. The system not only protects frontline troops, but also hinders Russian reconnaissance and reduces the lethality of enemy attacks. The 3rd Army Corps was formed in March 2025 under the command of Brigadier General Andriy Veletsky, who has transformed his unit into one of the most technologically advanced formations in the armed forces. In fact, the Corps is also actively developing and exchanging by integrating ground robotic systems, as it aims to replace up to 30% of infantry missions with unmanned platforms by the end of this year. And speaking of missions for robotic systems, the soldiers of the Alter Ego Battalion of the 93rd Mechanized Brigade, Kolodnijar, used a ground robotic system to help an exhausted elderly woman who was traveling on foot from Konstantinivka to Druskivka in the Donetsk region. The woman left her village with her belongings in a cart accompanied by her 2 dogs. When she became too tired to continue walking, she asked a Ukrainian mobile fire group she met on the road for help. At that moment, a ground robotic platform operated by the Alter Ego Battalion was returning from a logistics mission. The soldiers stopped the vehicle, and the woman, her dogs, and her belongings were loaded onto the unmanned system for the rest of the journey to Druskivka. Upon reaching their destination, where the soldiers had to recharge the robotic platform for its next mission, the same fighters provided transportation for the woman and her animals to Kramatorsk, ensuring their safe arrival. The incident was documented in a video released by the brigade's official channels, which shows the practical use of robotic vehicles in a humanitarian role, complementing their main functions of combat and logistical transport. Something that always catches my attention is the concern that Ukrainians have for their pets and wild animals. This is shown to us again in this video, where we see how they use a Baba Yaga bomber drone equipped with a transport rope, to which they attach a bag with a group of kittens who are then evacuated to the rear. This operation sums up everything we admire about the defenders. It's an act of compassion, deep empathy, and altruism, expecting nothing in return, just concern for these little furry lives. Pure humanity. So come on, maybe you don't like cats, but this is definitely the cutest thing you'll see today. If you want to see additional content about the war in Ukraine, I invite you to visit our 2 new channels where we present information about the war in a different format. Don't forget to check them out. Remember to visit our Patreon, where for just $1 you'll have access to a large number of uncensored videos and documentaries. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel.